So many of us over 50 are riding this relentless blood sugar roller coaster every single day. And honestly, a lot of folks have absolutely no idea it's even happening. I want you to think about your own daily routine for a second. That sudden heavy energy crash right around 2 p.m. that practically forces you to hunt down a sweet treat? Or that deep fatigue right after a meal where you just want to lie down instead of feeling energized? What about that brain fog that rolls in by mid-morning? Or the absolute relentless hunger that hits exactly 2 hours after you just ate? And then there's that stubborn belly weight that just will not budge no matter how carefully you eat? Every single one of these experiences is a distress signal from your body, and most of us just try to push through it with sheer willpower, an extra cup of coffee, or just quiet, lingering worry about diabetes. But I want to tell you plainly right now, some of the absolute most effective blood sugar balancing compounds known to science are not sitting on a pharmacy shelf. They are actually growing in gardens all over the world right now, and you can easily grow them yourself.
In this explainer, we're going to walk through 10 incredible plants that stabilize blood sugar naturally. But before we get to the list, I want to plant 2 very powerful seeds of curiosity in your mind. First, the 10th and final plant we'll cover today has actually been compared to metformin, which is the world's most prescribed diabetes drug, in a strict head-to-head clinical trial. And remarkably, it matched it for blood sugar reduction. The crazy thing is, most people grow this plant right now as a beautiful garden ornamental without ever realizing what it contains. I'm not going to name it just yet. Second, I am going to reveal one incredibly common daily preparation mistake that people make, which completely destroys the blood sugar benefits of the most commonly used plant on our list today. So stick with me, because both of these are going to completely change how you approach your daily health.
Understanding how blood sugar works inside you is actually incredibly simple if we use a basic visual. I want you to think of your body's insulin as a key, and your cell receptors as the locks on a door. Every time you eat, your pancreas, which we can think of as a key factory, makes insulin keys to unlock your cells. This lets the glucose inside to give you real energy. But as we get over 50, 2 frustrating things tend to happen. First, we develop insulin resistance, which literally just means those keys start fitting less and less well into the locks. Second, your pancreatic factory naturally slows down, so it produces fewer keys overall. And that is exactly why your blood sugar spikes up and stays high. Every single plant we're going to talk about today is a unique, natural tool for either fixing those stubborn locks or improving your key factory.
Let's start with our first 2 tools. Number 1 is cinnamon, but specifically Ceylon cinnamon. The active compounds in Ceylon cinnamon bark act directly on your locks, improving insulin sensitivity so that your body's keys fit into them much better. It also slows down stomach emptying. You can easily grow your own Ceylon cinnamon tree right in a large container, as long as you keep it in a warm, sunny, sheltered spot. You just harvest the young inner bark for a daily tea, which is fantastic for easing that afternoon crash. Number 2 is bitter melon. Now, this climbing vegetable is just extraordinary because it contains compounds that are so structurally similar to human insulin that scientists literally call them plant insulin. It basically gives your body actual supplementary keys to help force open those cellular locks. It grows incredibly vigorously on pretty much any sunny fence or trellis, giving you these warty green fruits from midsummer right up to the first frost. Having just a small glass of bitter melon juice before a heavy meal can genuinely help you feel satisfied and energized, instead of totally wiped out after eating.
Moving on to plant number 3, we have fenugreek. This one is fascinating. When you take fenugreek seeds and soak them in water overnight, they transform and create this thick, soluble fiber gel. When you consume it, this gel coats your digestive tract, mechanically slowing down the absorption of glucose. This means your cellular locks are never overwhelmed by a sudden flood of sugar. On top of that, fenugreek contains a unique amino acid that actually triggers your key factories to produce extra insulin, but only when your blood sugar is actively elevated. You can sow fenugreek seeds directly into any regular garden bed or a pot in the spring. Drinking that soaking water first thing in the morning is a phenomenal way to calm down that relentless mid-morning hunger. Oh, and just a quick reminder, the most remarkable plant on our list, that 10th plant that actually matched prescription medication, is still coming up.
Okay, so here is the crucial insider tip I promised you earlier, bringing us to plant number 4, which is garlic. Garlic produces an amazing compound called allicin, which makes your cellular locks wonderfully responsive to your insulin keys. But here is the massive mistake most people make. If you crush a clove of garlic and immediately throw it into a hot pan, you instantly destroy the specific enzyme required to create allicin. You literally cook away the entire blood sugar benefit in seconds. Here is what you do instead. You must crush the fresh clove and then wait exactly 10 minutes. Just leave it on the cutting board. That 10-minute window allows the allicin to fully form.
After that, you can cook with it or eat it however you like. Garlic is so easy to grow too. Just plant individual cloves about 4 inches deep in a garden bed or a deep container in the autumn, and you will have a year-round supply of a plant that gently lowers your fasting blood sugar. Plant number 5 is turmeric. We know that chronic inflammation can literally destroy the beta cells in your pancreas, which means it's actively destroying your key factory. But the curcumin found in turmeric acts as a shield. It protects that factory from damage and reduces the cellular inflammation that gunks up your locks. Turmeric rhizomes grow beautifully in a large, deep pot or a warm, sheltered garden bed. Grating the fresh root into a mug of warm water with just a little pinch of black pepper or cooking with it daily does wonders to protect your insulin production. Plant number 6 is the truly incredible moringa tree. The leaves of the moringa tree are packed with isocyanates. These compounds actively inhibit the digestive enzymes that break down carbohydrates. By physically slowing down how fast you digest carbs, it massively eases the sudden burden on your body's keys right after a meal. You can grow a moringa tree from seed in a large container set in full sun and just cut it back aggressively every spring. Try mixing a little moringa powder into your breakfast and watch how it stops that 2-hour post-meal hunger right in its tracks. You're doing wonderfully, following along so far. I just want to gently remind you that we are getting very close to that 10th plant, the one that went head-to-head with the world's most prescribed diabetes medication in a clinical trial. It's almost here. Plant number 7 is a vine called Gymnema sylvester, which has traditionally been known as the sugar destroyer. If you drink this as a tea right before meals, it does something amazing. It temporarily blocks the sweet receptors on your tongue. But even better, clinical studies suggest it actually helps regenerate the beta cells in your pancreas, essentially rebuilding your key factory. It's a gorgeous climbing vine that you can grow against a warm, sunny wall or keep in a large container. Plant number 8 is okra. Now, I know okra isn't everyone's favorite vegetable, but hear me out. That slippery texture inside an okra pod is actually a mucilaginous fiber. It forms a protective gel in your stomach, mechanically slowing down the rush of glucose into your blood. This guarantees your insulin keys are never overwhelmed. It loves the heat, so grow it in a warm garden bed or a large container for a massive summer harvest. If you slice okra pods, soak them in water overnight, and drink that water the next day, it beautifully smooths out those jarring daily energy roller coasters.
We are right at the finish line now. The most shocking plant on our entire list, the one that is going to permanently change how you think about managing your blood sugar, is coming right after this next one. Plant number 9 is aloe vera. The clear, cooling inner gel of a fresh aloe leaf contains phytosterols that vastly improve the sensitivity of your cellular locks, making them incredibly receptive to your body's keys. At the same time, it helps protect the insulin-producing cells right inside your key factory. And it's practically foolproof to grow. Put it on any sunny windowsill or a bright porch, give it some well-draining soil, and it requires almost zero attention. Scooping just a little of that fresh inner gel into your morning water brings a truly measurable calm to your fasting blood sugar. And now, my friends, it is time for our final plant.
We have finally arrived at plant number 10, and I want us to really take our time here, because this is without a doubt the most important moment of our explainer today. Plant 10 is barberry. Most people actually buy and plant barberry solely as a garden ornamental. They love looking at its beautiful yellow flowers in the spring and its bright red berries in the autumn. They walk right past it every single day, completely unaware of what it holds. Hidden deep inside its bark and its roots is a highly concentrated bright yellow compound called berberine. To really grasp why berberine is so profoundly effective, we need to talk about something inside you called AMPK. You can think of AMPK as a metabolic master switch. When you flip that switch on, it sends an urgent signal to every single cell in your entire body, telling them to immediately start using glucose more efficiently. Berberine reaches right into your system and flips that exact master switch. It starts repairing the function of your cellular locks so the keys fit perfectly again, and it simultaneously reduces the excess glucose output from your liver. It is, quite simply, the ultimate tool for balancing your entire blood sugar system.
And the science backing this up is just astonishing. In a landmark head-to-head clinical trial that was published in the highly respected medical journal Metabolism, researchers compared berberine directly against metformin, which is the world's most prescribed drug for type 2 diabetes. The results were absolutely undeniable. Berberine reduced the 3-month blood sugar average, the fasting glucose levels, and the post-meal glucose spikes to a degree that was statistically equivalent to the pharmaceutical medication. It matched it, completely naturally. And the most incredible part?
The most powerful natural blood sugar plant available to us grows happily right out in the dirt. You can plant a barberry shrub in full sun or partial shade in pretty much any well-draining soil. It is an extremely hardy plant. It tolerates freezing winter cold and poor soil with equal indifference. By simply harvesting very small amounts of the bark from stems you've pruned and using that to brew a simple, earthy daily tea, you are actively harnessing a natural compound that has genuinely shocked the global scientific community. So let's bring all of this together into a really gentle, practical daily routine that you can actually stick with. Now remember, these plant tools are meant to be wonderful additions to your prescribed medical care, never replacements. You should always speak with your doctor before adding them, as they are very real, very powerful compounds. But just imagine starting your morning by drinking your fenugreek soaking water and blending a little fresh aloe vera gel right into your morning drink. Then at breakfast, you simply sprinkle some moringa powder and Ceylon cinnamon right onto your oatmeal. When you cook your meals, you use fresh garlic, always remembering to wait that crucial 10 minutes on the cutting board, and maybe you have a cup of gymnema tea if those afternoon sugar cravings start hitting hard.
As you move through your day, you enjoy a warm cup of your barberry root bark tea to get that powerful AMPK activation going. And then, you end your evening with a soothing cup of turmeric golden milk, making sure to add that pinch of black pepper. Maybe a few times a week, you prepare some okra water, and depending on the season, you have a small glass of fresh bitter melon juice. Every single step of this routine is highly achievable, it's deeply comforting, and it is rooted entirely in the power of your own garden pharmacy. You truly have the power to fix those cellular locks.
I want to sincerely thank you for staying with me all the way to the end of this explainer. I genuinely hope that the barberry revelation and that simple 10-minute garlic preparation fix give you real, practical tools that you can start using today to reclaim your energy and feel like yourself again. If this information gave you some hope, please hit the like button and subscribe so we can keep exploring and learning together. And before you go, I have 2 quick questions I would love for you to answer down in the comments. Which of these 10 plants are you planning to start growing first? And honestly, were you making that garlic heating mistake before today? I read every single comment and I absolutely can't wait to hear your thoughts. Take very good care of your health, my friends.